Happy Saturday, everybody. The weekend is here. We should be relaxing, right? Now, folks, let's talk about Diddy and let's put ourselves in the shoes of the jurors and what they're thinking and what has to be proven to them. Now, as you all know, I'm a gangster. I love being a gangster. I'm the author of the book, The Accidental Gangster. If you go into my book, you will see my RICO indictment. Now, I was indicted with there were 14 of us on my indictment. It was a Colombo crime family indictment. You could read all about it. You could see the predicate acts in there. But now let's take the Diddy trial. One person so far charged with RICO, and that's Diddy. And everybody's saying, I listen to YouTube. I listen to so many different shows on YouTube, it's unreal. Because everybody's out there making a living, putting their Cash App up, and you guys are paying these people. Okay? I don't put my PayPal up. I got it up there, my Cash App and all that, but I don't ask you people to put money there. Do I? Every time I speak and ask you to put money in my Cash App? But hey, that's the way YouTube is. What could I do about it? So let's get into this Diddy thing. Diddy is charged, three main charges. Racketeering conspiracy. That's the RICO. Alright? And they're saying this is the most serious charge, accusing him of operating a criminal enterprise that engaged in various unlawful activities, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Now, they only have to find 2 predicate acts there to get him on the RICO. They already done that. If you're listening and reading the transcripts of the trial, you will see that they already done that. Okay? Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. 2 counts of that. These charges allege that Combs used force, threats, fraud, or coercion to recruit and transport individuals for commercial acts. That's already been proven, according from what I see. Transportation to engage in prostitution, 2 counts. These charges are related to the sex trafficking counts and allege that Combs transported individuals across state lines for prostitution. He's done that. That's not complicated. Sounds easy. Everybody's saying you're going to get life in prison. Let's take a look and see what the charges are. Let's see how much time he can get. All right? In cases involving aggravated circumstances like sexual assault or severe injury to the victim, the maximum sentence can be life in prison. Life. For obstructing an investigation, the maximum sentence is 20 years in prison. Other penalties include fines up to $250,000 for individuals or $500,000 for organizations. Mandatory supervised release for at least 5 years. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that if he gets found guilty. He hasn't been proven found guilty yet. Remember that. Restitution payments to victims for their losses. So, enforce the forfeiture of his assets and property. He could lose his entire life like that when that jury comes back, if they come back with a guilty verdict. So yes, he's facing life. No matter how you look at it, he's 56. Now, for the other crime, it's another 20 years if the offender directly participated in the sex trafficking offense. Up to life imprisonment in cases involving sexual assault, force, fraud, coercion, and up to 25 years for obstructing or attempting to obstruct a sex trafficking investigation. I don't think they got him on that one. Factors that are going to influence the sentence: the age of the victim, offenses involving minors. So far, I don't see a minor involved. Use of force, fraud, or coercion. Proving these elements can lead to increased sentences. Use of force, fraud, or coercion. Well, on the sex acts, he's been directing them. Okay? It's proven that he forced that one girl with a gun to get in the car to go to Cootie's house. I think they proved that loud and clear. So, looking at these charges, folks, put yourself in the juror. This is going to break down how well the summations are that the prosecution does as opposed to the defense. They only need reasonable doubt, the defense. They only need one juror to hold out, and it'll be a hung jury. And what's that mean? They're going to retry it, and Diddy will be sitting in jail till the next trial for another couple years. Now, if you were on the jury right now, where would your mind be? Because the defense has done a pretty decent job of putting some holes in some of these victims' testimony. But then again, you got to remember, a lot of people cannot remember what they had for dinner last night. So how are some of these people going to remember the date, the time, and all that of something that happened 10, 15 years ago? Pretty difficult. I wanted to share that with you, folks. I hope that helps you understand when you hear that he can get life in prison. You've seen what the charges are. You see how much time is involved. Let's say he only got found guilty on one of them. He's going to get 20 years. Maybe the judge will be lenient, give him 15. But if I believe Diddy has a previous history of crime, so that's going to go against him too. So there's a lot of elements and things that go into what the sentencing will be. But he has to be found guilty. Will he be found guilty? I don't know. I know that the longer the trial takes, it doesn't work to the benefit of the prosecution. I'm getting tired of listening to it and following it every day. So imagine what these jurors are doing, sitting in that chair and that jury trial, okay, all day long. waking up in the morning, having to drive to the courthouse, going home, eating dinner, go to bed. They're tired. They want this over with. So I don't know where their minds are. I'm not there. I hear some reporters say, well, they were nodding, they were doing this, they were doing that. You can't tell by that, folks. But one thing I'm going to tell you, Diddy got reprimanded for nodding his head and staring at the jury. I met Diddy one time and I didn't care for him. I met him in a nightclub many, many years ago with Jimmy Henchman introduced me to him. You all know who Jimmy Henchman is. Well, first and only time I ever met P. Diddy, one thing I could tell you, his eyes are dark. The stare that he has. And when I look at people, I look in their eyes. And I could tell he was not somebody, he was manipulative guy. I could tell that right then. Just wanted to share that with you. Have a great day, everybody. Leave a comment, a like, if you listen to this whole thing.